Here on 4, sign on with the art of leisure.
Hello and welcome to Sign On at Leisure. In today's programme we'll be looking at the art of using video cameras in your spare time and showing you an unusual advert made for and by deaf people.
Claire will bring you the latest What's On, as well as telling us about an interesting deaf theatre production, where the audience becomes part of the play. Also, we'll set sail on the high seas with one of our viewers who ran into some bad weather.
When you mention the weather, most people have an opinion about it and how it affects their life. Well, Paul Scott has a poem about the weather and presents it in a brilliant and unusual way. Here's Deaf Owl's film. Hey, did you know that the weather is actually deaf? Well, see this grey cloud here? Oh, it's pouring down. What are you called? Me? I'm called the rain. I will give you the sign language name, lashes of water from above. Heavy lashes, so I'll know you. Oh, what's that? Oh, what are you called? Me? Ha! I am called lightning. Oh, okay. I will give you the sign name, zigzag of light and thunder. I like that. The rain and thunder and lightning go on until the rain disperses and the clouds evaporate. But what's this? Oof. Oh, what's your name? I am the fog. I am come to cloud your vision. Then I will give you this sign name. Gradually the mists thin and lift. But what's this? What are you known as? I am called the sun. Ow! You're called the sun? That's right, because of my blazing rays. Ow! Did you know that watches are deaf? They have 2 hands, and you never hear their voices, ever. They sign. 3 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 12 o'clock. 6 o'clock. After 24, 48, 72 hours, they're still signing. Hearing people understand them, yet they have no voice. They're deaf. The weather is deaf. My watch is deaf. They're my best friends. How wonderfully creative. Like most people, we like to take on a challenge. We received a video from Ashley Holdsworth about his adventures aboard the tall ship, the Lord Nelson, operated by the Jubilee Sailing Trust, whose aim is to promote integration between physically disabled people and able-bodied people through sailing. Here's a clip of his video.
Yesterday it was for 7 to 8. Now that's really rough. There are 24 disabled people in bed now. Last night they were all ill. Only 4 of us are fit. That's myself, Frank, and another 2.
He obviously enjoyed himself and would recommend anyone to join. This month, the British Deaf News carries an article by 2 young deaf people who also recently sailed on the Lord Nelson. They both said that although it was hard work, they thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're interested, please contact the Jubilee Sailing Trust at this address. Jubilee Sailing Trust, Test Road, Eastern Docks, Southampton, SO1 1GG. Telephone 0703 631 395. Voice only.
Although Ashley's video is interesting, we think that maybe he, like most people, could do with some training on how to shoot and edit it into a really enjoyable film to watch. Back in 1981, the BDA started a video service. It was run by Dorothy Miles, DOT, and funded by the Manpower Services Commission Community Programme. It carried on till 1987, when funds ran out and it ceased. Maybe the BDA were ahead of their time, or deaf people were just not ready. Now we have the evidence that deaf people are raring to go and ready to make their own videos, with groups starting in Nottingham, Manchester and Liverpool. Take a look. That's really funny and well made. Although only a test, it shows the advancement in production skills that the deaf group Silent View in Liverpool has made. And Teletech International, the distributors of Minicom, were more than happy for us to share it. We went to visit Silent View to see how they were getting on. In November 1983, we started to become aware of the spread of cable television. One deaf person went to their meeting, where they agreed to accept cable television. This person asked, "What about deaf people?" And they said they were more than happy to liaise with deaf people. So, he set up an open meeting at the Deaf Centre and welcomed any interested people. This is how what is now called Silent View was established. Is the sound okay? There's some banging from the building over there. 1, 2, 3. Peaking okay. When we set up Silent View, without being a registered charity, it was hard to get money. Nobody knew who we were or what we were doing. So we agreed to become a registered charity. Slowly, the money started coming in, and Liverpool City Council agreed to give us a £50,000 grant from Urban Development. That helped us to get established and get new equipment. I'm really motivated by the two aims of Silent View. Firstly, training deaf people how to use the equipment. And secondly, improving access to television for deaf people. I've learnt how to use the cameras and all the equipment and sound because I'm partially deaf. The flats as well.
Yeah, wide on the flat.
Yeah, the roofs, yeah. Too much, come closer. Okay, fine. Who? Colin?
You ready? You ready? Okay. Ready? Rolling, rolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cue.
Hello, I'm Colin Johnson, talking to Frank Essery about youth clubs. We started in 1983 from the open meeting where concern was expressed about cable television and the provision they would make for deaf people. There were no proposals for subtitling or specific deaf programming. So we decided deaf people could make their own programs, but we would need equipment and training. That's why we set ourselves up.
I've been on a 3-month video course. It was only short, but that's what I'm interested in. Camera 1 wider. Camera 2 mid-shot.
Okay. Right. Start close. Now, after 3 years, we have a studio, equipment, and now we want training and education as well. He'll have to go over there and him there. Yes, that's possible. When we start rolling, camera number 1, close into a mid-shot. Well, I love all of this. It's really interesting seeing what's going on.
It seems more deaf people are getting involved in professional video production, and that means more entertaining videos for us all to watch. Now, with more information, here's Claire to tell you what's on in the theatre. More organisations are becoming responsive to the needs of deaf people in providing access to entertainment. But how are they being helped to do this? SHAPE, the London-based group that encourages access in a wide range of arts, such as theatre, photography and so on, for disabled and deaf people, has appointed a deaf policy coordinator. Deaf Owl went along to film a day in his life and see how he went about encouraging organisations. Who are we meeting?
We're meeting Sue Ewings. She's the box office and marketing coordinator She's responsible for 6 theatres in London.
Right.
My name is John Wilson. I work as the Deaf Arts Development Officer. I started in May this year, and we are funded by the RNID together with SHAPE here in London. We set up a Deaf Arts Development Project. This was specifically funded by legacies paid to the Newton Trust, who in turn funded our project.
We would very much like to ask advice from you, John, on what best use we can make of the limited facilities we have. As we've stated, we don't have very many at all, but maybe if I can show you the auditorium, then you could perhaps give us the benefit of your experience.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay. Thanks for inviting me to see The Phantom of the Opera. I went to see it and I really enjoyed it. I think it's very suitable for deaf people. But there was one problem there. At the beginning of the play, there was lots of people on the stage. It's very difficult to know where the interpreters should be placed. We need to plan that.
Okay. I'm sure that with the specially signed performances that we are about to embark upon with you, we will be able to make provisions for one designated area of the stage, and hopefully that will help with regard to making the signing more clear.
My job has a national remit, but for the first 6 months, I'm focusing on London. After that, we'll go nationwide. Our aim is to encourage the development and participation of deaf and hard of hearing people in all areas of the arts, and specifically to encourage the development of deaf arts by establishing contacts with a wide range of different bodies, also exploring their different art forms like video, film, theatre, photography and so on, looking at the more acclaimed areas and selecting examples where I can improve access by providing interpreters, minicoms, palantype or script synopses, and that's nationally.
Received your plans for the Moving Image Week in 1993. You're from the Education Department, you're linking with SHAPE. Can you tell me a little bit more about your work with deaf children in the past?
Well, in the past, we've always worked with the National Deaf Children's Society. We've been running Moving Image Week for 3 years now. And we'd like now to broaden our audience and go into working with adults. So we thought by joining with SHAPE we could use your contacts maybe and your database if you have one. But we'd like to continue working in film and video making, getting deaf people actually involved with creating their own films. Right, so this is the Hollywood studio. And we sometimes use this for workshops, or the visitors come and work with the young children. And now we're in the animation section. And if you look around here, you see all different types of animation. And the people can come and sit down here, do their own.
You now have the opportunity to get involved in theatre by joining Common Ground Dance and Sign Theatre's Build a Performance workshops. They'll give you an idea of how the group develops its sign dance theatre. Integration of both disabled and non-disabled people's perspectives is important to the working experience. Try it and find out what it's like. There are workshops in Bristol, Slough and Cambridge. Watch the diary for details. The Unicorn Theatre is organising a Christmas Carol concert for both deaf and hearing children with songs, poems, stories and dance and an interpreter. That's at the Actors Church in Covent Garden, London at 6:30 p.m. on Wednesday, December the 9th. And with Christmas on its way, there are plenty of interpreted pantos during December and January, with traditional Christmas tales like Peter Pan, Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. It's funny, lively and colourful entertainment for all the family to enjoy. Details coming up in the diary. Watch the list for dates and theatres in your home area now.
Also performing in a London Bubble production, someone you have seen before, deaf actress Paula Garfield. Here's a Deaf Owl film featuring her artistic performance entitled She.
She turns. Music fills the air. Spinning, she feels it caress her body, free her mind. She sings. The record spins. She expresses herself in the words, singing, singing. She lights a joint and drifts. Startled by shouts, she's jostled and pushed. People crowd in around her. She's caught in the surge. There's a fight. She turns, but she's trapped. Who's winning? She doesn't want to know. She doesn't want any trouble. She's glad to be free of those boys, their eyes wide with hate. She turns. Again the music plays. Sweet vibrations swirl around her, tingling through her body, freeing her mind. She sits, sips her Bacardi. There, a group of lads dance, showing out, smooching with the girls. There, a group of girls, singing and dancing together. The pain wells up, hits her in the chest. Valiantly she dances on. But the pain is still there. Why did her lover and friends leave her? Another record. Sweet music filling the atmosphere, swathing her body, freeing her mind. Another spliff. Another drag. She can take it, being alone. She dances on. That was thought-provoking, sad but interesting. That's it for this week. Next Saturday, Tessa and Paul will be here with Sign On Newswatch. Join us then. Bye.